Hey everyone, today we're gonna set a mock track to train the dogs on with Trackers IF and Tracker ID. Hey everyone, we're up here in the field today. We're getting ready to set a track. Just doing it real quick. I'm gonna set it. It is 5 o'clock p.m. and I'm gonna try to run this track tomorrow about 10. So you're looking at 17 hours. And it's gonna be for Jessie, my main tracking dog. She's 5 years old. And one of the things with Jessie is she gets bored with mock tracks real easy, so I don't run a lot of them with her. One of the things I've noticed over the years, and we've developed a scent called Trackers IF. Right there it is. Now, this scent, I'll turn it around, you can see that beautiful green color. This is 100% pure gut. It is taken from the stomach of a white-tailed deer and sealed to a secret compound. Not a chemical, natural occurring compound. And we're going to use Trackers ID for our interdigital. And we will use blood. I got 2 1-ounce bottles ready to go. So we're going to go probably about 400 yards or so. This is just going to be a warm-up track for Jessie. And I'm going to be using my my sponge stick with my Tracker IV attached to it. Sponge stick, you can see that sponge on the very end. I like to use a small piece of sponge, small piece. That way, if your IV drips blood down, it doesn't soak all over your sponge. So your stick protects your sponge. So the way we're going to do this, we're going to start out by getting our ID soaked into our sponge real good. We put a good half a dropper full, and I like to get that sponge soaked in really good. Okay, now the thing I'm going to tell you about the Trackers IF, this stuff is potent and it doesn't take a lot to do what you want to do with it. And I'm going to open up my blood. Got 1 ounce of blood, and we're going to put half a dropper into our blood. Okay, now this is what a lot of people forget to do. Give it a good shake. Boom, gut shot blood. There you go. So we got 2 ounces of blood ready, and like I said, a little bit goes a long ways. Now this is laying a track for a more experienced dog, so I don't have to use a lot of IF. If I was, say, training a pup, I would put twice the size sponge on the bottom here and put ID and IF on my sponge, so there's way more gut set. And if you're training a little pup, we just do drags with a little bit of deer hide, a deer hoof or leg with some of the Trackers IF on it. And we just buy sponges and cut them up. There's no secret to it. Walking stick, drywall screw with your sponge on the bottom. Okay, at the beginning of the track, I always like to tie some ribbon at the impact. That way I don't forget where I set it. And a surveyor's trick is to tie that knot pointing to where you're going to lay this track. So let's get going. I'm going to drop my blood down in there. There'll be a few drops come out, which is fine. This is our impact. So here at impact, we just make a few stabs and be ready to go from there. You'll see some blood down there. So here we go. There's our flagging marking that with the knot pointing where I started. Oh, I'm also going to start my Spartan Forge app. That way I know where I set this at. And it's as easy as just hitting a couple things and I'm set and I'm ready to go. So here we go. And it's just as easy as walking. And every jab of that stick is putting down blood. And interdigital scent. And we're setting this in a place where deer frequent. Because I want her to work this out. And I'm going to tell you what, if it doesn't rain tonight, it's going to be a tough set. Because it is dry. I mean, I'm just walking at a good pace. And here in a second, I'm going to make a 90. Like right here. Going to make a 90. Like that. And off we go. Oh, wow. Unexpected distraction, which is good. Looks like something got a deer here. There's deer hair all over the place. So we're going to be cutting up the side of it and see if she'll pick the track up from there. A lot of hunters will call you about tracking in an open field. They lose blood quite easily. So we're gonna go a couple, 200 or 300 yards in this open field. Maybe we'll make it mostly an open field set just to give Jesse some work. Okay, I emptied one 1 ounce bottle out. Got the other one ready to go. Now I'm gonna load, and I kept my stick in place, and I just dropped that in there. Is all I got to do. Straighten up that a little bit. There we go. Velcro straightened up. Get it aimed right, and off we go. Comment below on some of your favorite techniques for setting tracks. This is just one we like to do. I love the Trackers IF. It puts some realism back into working with the dogs. And we're on a deer trail. You can see it going through here. But yeah, comment below. Tell us what you think. If you've used the ID before, if you've used the IV. And I know some of you are starting to get the Trackers IF in your hands, but we sure would love to know what you think. Now, this terrain I'm covering today is relatively flat and would be a good spot to use tracking shoes, which I have a pair. But I really prefer this method of training. We have no and testing, because here at Longspur we've switched all our WGT tests to Tracker ID and blood, and the blood is dispersed by the Tracker IV, so it's consistent and every test is the same. So when you show up on a test day, the tests will be run out of the same Tracker ID bottle. It's fair to everybody, and the blood comes out of the same common jug. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a 90 right here, and I'm putting down, I'm about out of blood, which tells me I've probably gone my distance. So I'm jabbing it several times there. So we've ended right here at this autumn olive bush that was a rub, and I'm going to put a leg out here is what I'm going to do. And to keep the coyotes from grabbing it and stealing it tonight, I just used a simple zip tie. And we'll hang it up. It's because I want a scent pool to create. I want the dog to smell this target, and I want her to work her way out of a scent pool. So we'll see what kind of scent pull that creates. There's our target. And now it's hanging up right there. You can see what we're doing. So here we go. 476 yards. Took me 11 minutes and 40 seconds to set that. It's got a couple 90s and a cutback on it. And it's gonna be interesting. We changed terrain, we changed cover type, we went in a field, we went across some open ground. So we're making it tough for Jesse's first track. Okay, yesterday evening, right before 5 o'clock, we came out here and we set a track, and we're gonna run it with Jesse. It's now 10 o'clock in the morning. So that's 10, 7, 17 to 18 hours. And we used Trackers IF on this track, as well as Trackers ID and Blood. And I took just a little, you can see how much is missing out of that bottle, not much at all. And I put in 2 ounces of blood. We went almost 500 yards and set this track. Now, Jessie, she's our head tracker. And just to be honest, she gets after it, and we don't run her on a lot of mock tracks. She gets bored. She'd rather go hunt. If she at all feels that she's not going to get to bite something at the end of the track, sometimes she just doesn't do it. So Trackers IF has given her that little bit of smell that this is a gut shot deer, and she just knows in her head that she's going to catch this deer. So our impact's over here. I'm going to set my Spartan Forge app. I set it yesterday, and we'll compare. It's just using it for comparison to make sure she's staying right on line. Turn my phone sound off just in case somebody calls. But we're going to go right over here and get started. She's smelling all the smells. She's wanting to hunt. So let's just go get her on a track, see what she'll do. We have our app set, and I'm going to let her sniff around there. She's already on the impact. Always let her scent profile at the beginning. She's going to search around, try to figure out where this line went to, and she's on it. Now, since I didn't set this blind, I'm not going to guide her, but I am going to stop when I know she's off track and let her check herself. Just holding the, well, she's going to do that right now. But she took off on the first 40 yards like a shot. There she goes. This is more interest I've seen in her in a mock track. I'll let her check. There she goes. Oh, she's gonna check again. We got a lifting thermal, so she's smelling every deer in that hollow right now. Let her get her mind back on this track. Let her check herself. You just got to be able to read your dog. And now she's back on. Now right in here we made a 90 back up the hill, which she went by. Let's let her figure out where her turn went. She just hit her 90. Checking herself, making sure she hit it. That's one thing that she has aged, she's gotten deliberate about. She'll come back and check, but then when she gives you that hard pull, you know she has it. There's a deer down in there because she's smelling hard. Check, check. Now she's pulling me. Checking herself again. She's back on it. Now, yesterday when I set this, you saw this deer hair. Good distraction. Let's see if she picks up this track outside of it. Yep, didn't even stop and pay attention to the deer hair. There's gonna be a 90 right there. Now I'm gonna plant my heels right here. She needs to check herself. There she goes. She's giving me the same pull she does on a gut shot deer. We're going to approach another 90. She hit it. Why is she staying on so much better? Because the scent's getting fresher. It's just by minutes fresher, but it's fresher. Now it's just pure on the line, on a hard traveled deer trail. There's a deer in here constantly. This is one of their most traveled trails that I'm on. A little bit of a scent pool right in here. I can see my end flag. She's getting a little bit of a scent pool. We got the deer leg as a target. She's hunting for it. She blew past it. She's winding. I'm gonna give her a minute to look for it here. She's got her head in the air. She's looking for it. The deer leg's hanging right here on the tree. Feel the wind hit me in the back, so it's just pulling in here. Find it. Find it. In the deer field, this would have been a recovery. She's gonna find it here in a minute. I'm gonna let her find it. And, but we did that 545 yards, 7 minutes and 50 seconds. And she's still hunting for it, hunting for it. I want her to find it. She's closing in on it. Right here's the double track, and you can see it's showing pure white, which means we were right on it. And she's still looking for it, but she got me right here. I'm gonna show it to her because I want her to get her reward. Jess. There it is. You want that? You want it? We'll pull it off of there. Can you pull it off of there? You pull it off of there. Get it, get it, get it. It's yours. Get it. Yeah, it's a deer leg. I showed you this trick yesterday. That's an old zip tie that's been reused on tree stands and stuff, but that's how you keep a coyote from stealing your leg overnight. But that right there, we did that in 7 minutes and some 548 yards. That was pretty cool. So, Trackers IF, folks, makes an old dog pull like a new pup. I mean, she's on a gut shot deer. She went. And that's the first mock track. We were talking this morning. I told John Hockaday on the phone since 2020, but since 2021, we ran her on few in the summer of 2021. And I hadn't run her on any mock track since because she just gets bored and won't do it most of the time. And this morning she's right on it. Now she's wanting to go hunt. So, hey, I'm happy. Trackers IF, whitetaildeertracking.com, whitetaildeertracking.com. If you've ordered some, tell us in the comments how it's working out for you. And we'll be putting some more training videos up.